Today I wanted to talk about Python dictionaries. Python dictionaries are similar to lists, except we're going to add more data into it. So the most important part about a Python dictionary is this key value pair. And this is kind of an important concept that you're gonna have to understand going forward with a lot of things, especially when you're working with data, is that you have this key and you have this value, and both of them have to match, both of them have to line up. So in other programming languages, these things have been called like associative arrays. They've been called maps, but for this case, we'll just call them dictionaries. So if you look at my computer now, we're gonna just kind of create a standardized dictionary, and then here's a syntax for it. So you want to basically just have the name of a variable, the name of your dictionary, and we're gonna put these, excuse me, not these. We're going to put these curly braces in. And with these curly braces, they tell us it's a dictionary. I'm going to hit enter because I like to separate things out. And then we have this key value pair. So we have a key, we have a value. And you'll notice that the key name is apple and the value name is fruit, and it's separated by the colon. And if you want to add more of these, it's not that hard to do. You just put a comma and then you drop in another one. So we'll say, now, what you'll notice is that the values can be, the values can be the same, but the keys cannot. The keys must be unique. You cannot recycle the same keys again and again. That's not how it works. The computer's going to get confused. It doesn't know what you want because every key should have a corresponding value. So, how do we call it? Well, we can just use our print command, followed by the name of the dictionary, and then we square brace it, and then followed by the key. So the key in this case is apple. If I save this and I run it, and you look on the bottom, you'll see that it is a fruit. It returns fruit. That's what we want. So let me put some comments in here so you'll understand. So it's name of dictionary, followed by the square brace, and then key. That's all that is. The name of the dictionary and then the key. Easy enough. So that's how you call the value from this dictionary. And later on, I'll teach you how to add things into it. It's not that hard to do. But right now, what we're going to work on is, well, how do we delete it, and then how do we modify? So why don't we work on deleting a dictionary item, and then you'll see the output result. So when you want to delete something, you don't call print because that doesn't work. It's a delete. What are we deleting? We are deleting what's a dictionary name. And let's say we want to delete the watermelon. So we would say key name is watermelon. And if I say print the entire dictionary, we can do that. So let's clear this out and let's run it. And so all we're left with is apple and fruit. The watermelon fruit has completely disappeared because we've deleted that from our data set. We've deleted that from our dictionary. All right? So what we're going to do now is, now that you've done delete and you've done printing and of the value, we're going to replace. And so we can run replacement as such. In fact, let's ask a user what they want. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to ask the user what they want to add into the apple. So it's not gonna be a fruit anymore. We'll call it something, and we'll say apple pie or whatever. We're gonna change its value, okay? We're gonna take the key and then change its value. So why don't we just create a variable, and we'll ask the user, what is the new value for apple? And replacement is easy. We call the name of the dictionary, we square brace it. What key is it? We're replacing the value of apple. We don't want it to be a fruit anymore. It's going to be whatever it is. it's going to be equal to whatever the user said it's going to be. If I print it out, you know what we'll do? We'll print it out twice. We'll print it out first to prove that it doesn't exist until we ask the user what we want valued. We're going to take that value and then replace it, and then we're going to print it again. All right? Here's what we'll do. So if I print it out, it says apple, fruit, watermelon, fruit. The code is asking us what is the new value for apple, and we'll say pie. And you'll see the change: apple, pie, watermelon, fruit. And we've changed those values. We've changed that value in apple. All right. So we could also just nuke this entire dictionary by using the clear function. We could just simply say, in this case, food.clear. That's it. So print it out. It's empty. You see, the dictionary is still there. If you look in that code, and if you want to rewind it and look at what it was printed, it's just a square braces. So the dictionary is still there, but it's empty. There's no values in it. Everything's been removed. Let's say we're working with a dictionary that has a lot of data. So why don't we drop some more data in here, and we'll have more foods in here. We'll say, oops. Let's put one more in here. Notice there's no comma at the very last one, because if you drop a comma in there, it's just going to think that there's another key value that should be in there, and there shouldn't be one. So let's say we're working with a lot of data and you don't understand what's inside of this. And it happens. It could happen when you're working with this huge data set. For example, if you're trying to resequence an entire genome or something, or you have you're working with like a large library of books and magazines. You don't exactly know what's in there, but you want to see everything that's in there. And so we can print out either all the values or all the keys or both. Let's do that now. So we'll say print, and the name of the dictionary, and we can print out the keys and values. So the name of our dictionary is food, and we want to print out, so we'll say .keys. Let's save it, and we'll print it out, run it. So these are all the keys: apple, watermelon, cabbage, carrot, right? You can print out all of its values too. So if you look down here, we'll say keys and values. We'll have apple, watermelon, cabbage, carrot, fruit, vegetable, vegetable. And so you'll see that there are all the keys and all the values. And just a reminder, the keys must be independent. You can't have the same keys name the same thing. So let's talk about nested dictionaries. So you can create a nested dictionary. It's like a dictionary within a dictionary. They require something called nested keys. And creating nested dictionaries is a good way of adding multidimensionality to your data. For instance, if you think about it, you are more than just a collection of a name and an age. You have a grade, you have favorite colors that you like, you have data within data, right? And so we can do the same thing with our Python dictionary. So if we look at this, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about, let's think about the components of a hamburger, right? And so you have a bun, you have meat, you have toppings, you have condiments, yes? But in those four things, you have more variations of it. You have what kind of bun, what kind of meat, what kind of toppings, what kind of condiments, how much is it? Which leads to a good point. Values can be not just strings. It could also be integers too. It could be integers. It could be Boolean values. Typically, we stick them to strings and integers. So why don't we create a nested dictionary of a burger. So if we had our own restaurant, so we have burgers. And in this, all the nested stuff goes right here. But here's the tricky part. So when you're using nested keys are not names. Nested keys, I would strongly urge you to have indexed values. So these nested indexes, right? These nested keys have to be 0, 1, and that's a better way to do it. Let's just do 0, 1, 2, 3. So we'll start with 0. Okay? That's a good start. And then we drop the colon. And then one more time. Boom. Another set of mustache braces. Okay? So now we can do this. We have a name. This is called, I don't know, cheeseburger. All right. And this cheeseburger has a price. And the price of this cheeseburger is $5.99. Notice the use of the comma after the cheeseburger. All right? But if we're a burger store, we've got to have more than one burger. So let's put a comma after this 0. And we're going to do a 1. And we're going to do that. Okay? Notice the comma on line 5. I have 0 and I have 1. And now we can do name again. But you might be asking yourself, well, didn't I just say the keys and values are different? Yes, but if you think about a nested index, it's actually quite unique in this case where you could repeat the key and again with different values because we're inside of a nest. This is a nested dictionary. So 0 and 1 are different if you look at your code, but the name and the price, are same. So name, it's a plain burger, has a price of $2.99. And if we want to do it again, I'm just going to copy and paste this. Let's have another burger. Let's have the Supreme Burger, the Deluxe Burger, right? So, not only is it $12.99, we're going to have a list inside of this dictionary. So we're going to build a list now of toppings, and we'll say it has lettuce and tomato and pickles. So you might be asking yourself, well, how do I call this, right? Like, how do I call all this data? So why don't we start simply? So this is what we have now, right? So if I say print and the name of my dictionary, and I say bracket 0, and then I say bracket quotes name, what do you think is going to show up? What do you think is going to show up in this list? Should be cheeseburger. Let's find out. There it is. Cheeseburger. So that's how you would call it. Look at this again. Right? Look right here. So we have the name of the dictionary, the item, the nested index we're calling, and its key. So why don't we try this now? If you want to try this, you can hit pause right after I give you the instructions. But I want you to go ahead and try to call the lettuce from the toppings in the deluxe burger. Let's see if you know how to, see if you can figure this one out. So why don't you hit pause, and when you're ready for the answer, come on back. unless you're totally impatient and you just want to fast forward. So I'll just show it to you. So if I want to call it, it's just stacking it. I want to say print, so get rid of that. Print burgers. It's the second one, right? Yeah, the deluxe is 2. So 2, all the toppings. And if you look at the toppings, we have 3 items, and its index position is 0, 1, 2. So if you want the lettuce from it, you go bracket again, 0. That's it. Let's run it. You're going to print cheeseburger and you're going to print lettuce. Easy enough, right? This is pretty simple. If you know how to do lists, you should be able to figure out how to do these simple dictionaries. And then what I'll do later is when we do Python exercise 5, you'll have an understanding of how to do this, and I'll give you some problems and challenges that you'll have to overcome. And this should be easy. So if you have any questions that I haven't covered, go ahead and email me at howard.cam@k12.hi.us, and then we can hopefully work these out together. All right? Take care.